Whether you are a Genshin player, a Honkai player, or an overall brand new player to the Honkai sphere, I'm pretty sure you've heard about a game called Honkai Star Rail. Now, Honkai Star Rail is going to be coming out on April 26th, and today we are going to be going over the top 5 most important things that you should know regarding Honkai Star Rail. We're going to be talking about the most asked questions, the aspects of the game, and all that you need to know regarding Honkai Star Rail. So if you're going to be enjoying this type of video and you're going to be liking the content surrounding Honkai Star Rail, Honkai Impact, or Genshin Impact, make sure to leave a sub on the channel because we are going to be covering all of those games in the future. But let's go ahead and start talking about the top 5 most important things that you need to know about Honkai Star Rail. For the very first thing, a lot of people are asking this question a lot, and it's also a very important question just due to the nature of the game and the name of the game, which is basically, for the story, do you need to play Honkai Impact 3rd to be able to play Honkai Star Rail and actually understand the story? Well, the answer is no. You do not need to play Honkai Impact 3rd to understand Honkai Star Rail's story. Honkai Star Rail's story is in its own universe and world. Now, the thing about Honkai Star Rail is that it does have a lot of characters that come from Honkai Impact, as they're, I guess you could say, mirrored selves or their alternate dimension selves, which are characters like Bronya, Sele, Himiko, Li Sushang, and Natasha. There are many more in the game that are going to be coming out possibly, and also there is one character that directly connects the Honkai Impact story into Honkai Star Rail, which is Welt. Now, Welt is a standard character that we do have in the game currently, and he does directly connect the two stories together. He does have a very important role in Honkai Impact, but as of what we know right now from what we've seen in the closed betas, his role in the story does not directly affect the story that we see at the current moment, and I'm pretty sure they won't do that until maybe later on in the story, because they don't want to deter players from coming into the game since they didn't come from Honkai Impact or any of the other Hoyoverse games. Now, for number 2 is something that a lot of people want to know regarding Honkai Star Rail, and that is basically, how is the gacha system? Is it good? Is it bad? How is it like? Well, we are going to be talking about that right now. Honkai Star Rail's gacha system is very reminiscent of Genshin Impact's summoning system. You have a 5-star promotional character, a 5-star promotional light cone, aka weapon I guess you could say, and then a standard banner, and at the beginning of the game we're also going to get a beginner's banner as well. That is really good. Now, the thing about this is that we are including a lot of aspects from Genshin Impact summoning system, such as there's going to be 3 4-stars that are going to be accompanied on the banner with these banners. There's also a 50-50 and hard pity as well. After 90 for the characters and I think 80 for the light cones, you also have a chance of getting a failed 50-50 and getting a standard banner character or a standard banner light cone. So this is very reminiscent of Genshin Impact. So if you didn't enjoy the 50-50s, then sorry to say that is still in the game, but a lot of the 50-50 5-stars are going to be really nice, like Bronya and Welt and stuff like that. So hopefully you get those characters. But yes, it is very much like Genshin Impact. You are going to be getting some materials when you summon. You're going to be getting stuff like that regarding like the Stardust and Star Glitter, where you can get resources and possible 4-star characters. So you're going to be getting stuff back when you summon, not like other games, but for the most part it is very copy and paste of Genshin Impact summoning system. So it's not a bad thing. In all honesty, I do enjoy a game with pities in it, because some games don't have it and it makes your basically experience a lot worse, so it could be worse. Now, for number 3, you might want to know how your characters are going to be built, or how the character progression system is going to work in this game. Now, for this game is very reminiscent, as I said before, with the summoning system of Genshin Impact, and that is just that. The character system is very much like Genshin Impact with how you basically level up your characters, how you build them. It is almost copy and paste, which isn't a bad thing per se, because it's a very streamlined way, but we're going to be talking about each of those tabs separately. The details tab is basically an overall kit review, what these characters do, how they work, shows you their level and their stats. Traces are going to be basically your talent levels. In all honesty, from Genshin Impact, is very reminiscent of that. You're able to boost your talent levels, your passives, all that type of stuff. That's really cool. The light cone is going to be your so-called weapon. This is going to be similar to how weapons work in Genshin, in all honesty, with there being certain weapon types. It's very quote-unquote-ish for a lot of these, because they don't call those anymore. They work on a different kind of system, but I'm trying to refer it in a little bit of an easier way, with as closely as it is to Genshin. I'm trying to relate it to those. So the traces are kind of like talent upgrades and passive upgrades, and light cones are quote-unquote weapons that, you know, follow a certain guideline with how paths work in this game. Eidolons are going to be your constellations, of course, so whenever you get dupes, that is a good thing. And relics are going to be your artifacts. Now, the thing about relics is not only do you have to have more than 5 of them, because yes, it's not just 5, now it is 6. With you being able to run a 4-piece set and a 2-piece set, you're really going to want to maximize these set bonuses for the characters that you're using. So this could basically allow for some really cool builds and some cracked out stats in the future. Now over the fourth thing that we're going to be talking about, which is how is Honkai Star Rail's gameplay. This can go from the overworld exploration up into the turn-based combat system. Now going over the overworld exploration, there's going to be a lot of different maps and areas that you're going to be able to explore when it comes to Honkai Star Rail. They're very big and they have seamless ways of going down, up and down floors. Now the thing about Honkai Star Rail is that it's a lot more restrictive than Genshin Impact, where Genshin Impact you can basically run from one place to another easily, while for Honkai Star Rail you do need to teleport from time to time to be able to get to certain locations. It is not a truly open world game in all honesty. It does have some borders, but for the most part it doesn't feel too restrictive. You will be finding chests, resources, and the enemies in the overworld. Now the thing about the enemies in the overworld, when you hit them, it is going to start the turn-based combat system. This is a very important point for a lot of people that are going to be starting this game, as they may not have ever played a game that is like this. But yes, Honkai Star Rail is a turn-based combat game, so this is something that's going to be new to you. It is actually very easy to understand because they do have a really good tutorial at the very start teaching you all the things that you need to know. But for the most part, you are going to be using, of course, your normal attacks, your skills, and your ult to be able to do the most damage and the most buffing or debuffing for your allies or enemies that you could possibly can do to be able to make things easier or harder for you depending on how you want to make your comp. Now you are going to be spending a lot of your time matching the elements of the shields of the enemies in order to break it as fast as you can, and once you break it, they usually take more damage or are stunned. So this is for the most part what you're going to want to be building your characters around when you do higher level content, which is matching the elements, buffing those characters so that they're able to do a lot of damage to those shields. And for the most part, there are waves of enemies that possibly can happen, and there are single target enemies as well. So you have to really make sure you know what you're doing when it comes to building teams, knowing when to use AoE or when to use single target. This is something that you will have to understand when you're going further into the game. Now the final thing on this list, but of course the most important, is going to be what is the end game like in Honkai Star Rail. Does it match Genshin Impact? Does it match Honkai Impact? What am I going to be doing on the daily? What am I going to be doing on the weekly? Well, we're going to be talking about that right now. And it is basically, of course, you're going to be doing your commissions at the very start of the day, and then you're going to be burning your resin or stamina, however you want to call it, when it comes to getting your resources for your account, such as, light cones, artifacts, materials to progress your character to a higher level. These are going to be the things that you waste your stamina on. Now there are things just like weeklies, kind of like in Genshin Impact, where you're able to spend that as well for some boss exclusive material to be able to help out in progressing your characters even further. Now the thing about the weeklies in this game, it does feel a little bit better than in Genshin Impact, because in Genshin Impact you can only do one weekly per week, while in Honkai Star Rail you are able to use the, I guess you could say, amount of weeklies you can do in a week and use them on the same boss if you want to. So this helps out a lot if you're trying to build a certain character and trying to get them as high as you possibly can without focusing on all the other weekly bosses. This is really good that they give us the choice to choose, and I really hope they bring that in the future with Genshin Impact. That'd be really, really cool. But of course, other than the weeklies and the resin and the commissions, you have something else called the simulated universe. Now if you've played Honkai Impact, it is very reminiscent of the Elysian Realm mode. This is basically where you're going to be doing battles, and it is a roguelike game mode, and you are going to be finishing these battles and getting some new buffs. Every time you get new buffs, the next battles are going to be progressing these buffs and making these buffs even more cracked out. You're going to be doing some cracked out damage, maybe abilities, all that type of stuff, depending how you build and sort your character cards or whatever cards that you get from each battle. You can end up getting no type of benefit from it if you build it wrong, but if you end up building it somewhat right, you're going to be getting some nasty attacks, nasty abilities, all that type of stuff in this basically roguelike game mode. And you're going to be doing this every week for some currency and some other resources as well. Other than that, there isn't anything that we know as of now, and this was only included in the closed beta that we recently had. So of course in the future they may give us some new things. I would love if they would give us a, not PvP, don't get crazy, but I would love if they would give us a timed abyss mode, just like how they have in Honkai Impact, where you're able to compete with others to see who can complete it the fastest. But other than that, that's pretty much it when it comes to the top 5 things you must know about Honkai Star Rail. If you're really excited for this game, let me know how you're feeling about it, if you're going to be downloading it, if you're going to be playing it, and make sure to leave a sub and a like on this video if you enjoyed the content and or excited for some more Honkai Star Rail news and gameplay. So on that, thank you guys so much for watching, see you on the next one, and peace.